who is an entrepreneur, he's a sales manager, and he's also leading an organization called Ubuntu. And on another hand, we have Ms. Thando Masanabo, who is the founder of Pets Are Us organization. It's an organization that distributes sanitary products and offers services to vulnerable women around the communities in South Africa. She's also a social entrepreneur, and she's our guest tonight. Ground rules, colleagues. If you want to speak or ask a question, please wait for the speaker to finish, then raise your question. We will be starting right now. Colleagues, thank you so much for your indulgence. Let me kickstart the meeting right now. We understand the role of social entrepreneurship, more especially in South Africa. Right now, during and post-COVID-19, it is going to play a very important and pivotal role in ensuring that people have access to basic needs. We have organizations that are championing food parcels, distribution, and other the like. So I want to open the space by giving Mr. Sipho to explain to us, what does he do with Ubuntu? What is Ubuntu? How do we join Ubuntu? How can we support it while we open these slots? And I'm going to be leading this conversation or facilitating this conversation with you. So bear with him. After he has explained, then we will go to Thando. After Thando has explained what the organization is all about, or their organization, then we will dip into social entrepreneurship. Over to you, Sipho.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Indeed, my name is Sipho Ngwenya. Let me start by maybe just, summarizing this bit around these technicalities. It's really not anyone's fault from our end, so do not stress about that. Obviously, it's something going forward. Yeah, as far as, I'd say my involvement in a few initiatives, I'll just start with Ubuntu more specifically to say that it's not even a formalized organization. As a matter of fact, I hope it remains that way. Why do I say that? What I've learned, or what I'm picking up from just the engagement of different people, is that the technicalities, jargon, you name them, end up swaying a lot of us from understanding why are we even giving in the first place. We end up focusing on organograms in an environment whereby purely it's just about us executing on basics. In your intro, Alex, you mentioned the element around, currently and even post this COVID-19 situation, there's going to be a lot of, there is in fact dire situations where poverty is playing game, and it's still going to be even a whole lot harder going forward. So how we engage, or rather collated as a bunch of people really to be classified as Ubuntu, was based on that. Have a lot of people, how can we actually go about assisting wherever we can with whatever we can without being too technical, as I said, and as I mentioned as well, without seeking professionalization of what we're doing. So that's the essence around Ubuntu. It's actually a WhatsApp group, and anyone and everyone can participate. As a matter of fact, let me also highlight that the different forms of giving also exist. Others perhaps might be willing to give monetary-wise, and they do it anonymously. Others would even give without even notifying me or anyone for that matter, because it's purely, I repeat, about as a form of executing on what I would classify as a basic need that is needed out there. Just also moving on to the bigger topic at hand, social entrepreneurship in our economy. As I mentioned, that it's not too prescriptive. This is not a way of saying that this is the right way of living life, but it's more a case of just building on collaboration. Within this link as it is, you'd find that there are people who are good with computers, there are people who are good with knitting, people who are good with baking, etc. So the element around Ubuntu, and perhaps any other initiative might be involved in, is foster the culture of collaboration, which I wonder what led to it actually slowly dying out in our society. We have slowly moved into, me. So just for us to slowly go back to understanding that, if you didn't grow up in poverty, that's beautiful. But surely you do know of people within your community which need your insights, would need your assistance, would need food that you could definitely assist with without even worrying too much about it. So I'll be sharing just a few examples, practical ones of other organizations that are doing stellar job in that space. And also to also just touch on my professional experience in terms of the corporate world and what I've learned from that vis-a-vis to what I'm experiencing at the moment. I know it's a long-winded intro, but I hope that I summarized it quite well.
Thank you so much, Sipho. Thando, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex, for inviting me. I also like to welcome my team from Peza Us. My friends and my family are also part of the meeting. Thank you for taking your time to join us on this Zoom meeting. As introduced by you, Alex, I am the founder. I am one of the founders for Pets R Us. And what we do is we assist girls in disadvantaged areas around Gauteng for now with sanitary pads and toiletries. So we go around looking for places that are disadvantaged in Gauteng and we assist them with sanitary pads. But not only do we do that, we like host little seminars, and in those seminars we do career guidance. We teach them about menstrual and personal hygiene health. We give them career guidance, just to talk also as them seeing us as their sisters. Boys are also allowed at our seminars, and with them, we assist them with toiletries only. So like what we want to ensure is that no girl is left out. We want to ensure that, life goes on even though you are on your sanitary or you are on your periods. Like you should still go to school, you should still go for the job interview, you should not feel ashamed or feel like you need to lock yourself out the house. So we're trying to kill, if I should say, this taboo that says that, being on your periods, it means you are dirty, you can't do anything. We're just all about women empowerment, girl empowerment, making sure that, in life we are all succeeding in a way that we can all succeed according to our best capabilities. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Thando. Sipho, you have laid a very good background in terms of, what is a social entrepreneur and what is a social entrepreneurship. So for the benefit of the listeners and the participants in this webinar, an entrepreneur is a person, and entrepreneurship is a process or an activity that an entrepreneur does. So when you talk of the social entrepreneurs, you're talking about people who are ambitious, people who are working towards a common goal in the community, people who are uplifting the community without actually earning or focusing on earning some sort of a salary or a gain or a profit. So from that explanation and from that extract, I want to understand what motivated you, Sipho, to start Ubuntu. Why do we have Ubuntu? Why should we look back and plow back to the community?
Okay, thanks, Alex. Yeah, I'd say, perhaps without even having overly thought of it, is more one's background. So, growing up in an environment where one grew up in, and right up until varsity years, particularly the help that I, on a personal level, I didn't want to speak too much about myself, but anyway, that I on a personal level got helped by different people whom you'd say are not my family members. And I'm talking about more specifically at university, whereby literally the entire, duration of my time there, I was sponsored by a family that didn't, we were not related whatsoever. And I think that kind of support motivated me going forward in more ways than one, because I understood that actually, in actual sense, anyone standing, whether you call yourself an entrepreneur, a businessman, or you're an employee with a beautiful title, etc., you got helped by someone. So the best way to actually, I'd say, your life to have meaning is for you to extend that said assistance. Could be through sponsoring someone, it could be through buying someone food. I mean, if you're earning whatever you're earning, surely blessing someone with 100 rands in a day or in a set day would not be that difficult. So that played a part, I suppose, in motivating my decision, if I could put it that way, Also, the other added motivation is literally what I get to see on a daily basis. I stay in Joburg in the West, and I noticed that pretty much it's always been there, but now it's getting worse actually, whereby almost every stop sign, every traffic light, there are burgers. It's like now standard, you know. At first, it used to be like, okay, no, it's the Nyabupe boys, as they call them. But now you pretty much see a lot of women with their kids and so forth. So the human in me does not allow, or rather chooses not to ignore and feel that, okay, whilst I'm in my fancy car, I suppose, this is my life. No, no, no. I understand that we are all connected. So I try and extend it, or rather share it with people. And to my good surprise, actually, I have noticed that what I'm feeling is nothing special at all. There are a lot of people, particularly in the Ubuntu for one, and even who are not even part of Ubuntu as such, who see things that way. So I think mine was just now to, without any scientific analysis whatsoever, just collate everyone to be part of a certain movement, if I could put it that way, where we could, you know, share ideas and propose. And others have come up with amazing ideas that I would not have come up with. Others coming up with, you know, give out through vouchers, because that's another thing. You know, people have been scammed a lot. That, you know, the monetary exchange is also an issue. So in essence, that has been my moving towards that direction, over and above what I also do on a capacity, which I'll share with as we go along.
Thank you so much, Sipho. It is very clear. He mentioned things that I was still going to drive the conversation on, the issue of, you know, how do we stop fraud from being committed? How do you know that the person that you're actually helping, more especially with the outburst of social media, where people just send, you know, requests and statements to you that they are vulnerable, they have 5 kids or 10 kids, they don't have food. You know, the question is for all of us is, how do we navigate, you know, during these tough times to really make sure that whoever we are, you know, helping out, we are really making that impact that is required. So over to Thando. Thando, I just want to understand what motivated you guys to start this. I know, you know, in terms of the social background and the socio-economic issues that are affecting people around here in Gauteng are not necessarily the same as those ones that are in Limpopo. Why focus on Gauteng and not Limpopo? Over to you, Thando.
Like I said, for now, we are currently based in Gauteng because it's in terms of how we can reach people. And like you said, you know, we don't get paid for this. So all that is done, it is done like according to how we can, how we can and how we can help. And we also wish to also like expand our wings. But you know, running an NPO is not easy. You need sponsorships, you need money, and we also have to source all those things out, you know, transport to get there, you know, sleeping arrangements. So that has financially as an organization, that is why we cannot expand outside Gauteng. But we would love to, you know. And what actually motivated us to do this, with me personally, like I never had problems with buying sanitary towels. It was just, so just one day I was listening to the radio and a lady called in to request for sanitary pads. And after somebody volunteered to help her out, then many more others started calling. So that, you know, it sparked a thought that maybe I could assist. And thank God, within that same week, one of my now good friends, Mankateng, called me and asked me to donate. And with her, I was like, no, I don't want to donate. Let's do something and let's join. You know, and it turned out to something big. And I think me and her was thinking this was going to be like a once-off thing. We're going to help this particular community and move on with our lives. And like, yeah, now here we are, 5 years going, you know. So we are still going strong. I think we are still going to help many more other communities and also expand ourselves, because that's what we want, you know. Getting sponsorships as an MPO is not easy. You know, you have to fill in large forms. You know, there's also a lot of fraud that comes in. People can offer you like, okay, I can give you this grant, but you also have to give me like 80% back. So you'll be left with the 20%. And like, I mean, how are we going to cover up for 80% of something that we're going to show? So it's a lot that happens again in terms of getting grants and sponsorship and assistance.
Most classically, I see that we have Mankhateng with us. I'm going to hijack her. She better be ready for me.
She's
I'm going
ready.
to hijack her in the moment. But colleagues, both of you are professionals. You have your day-to-day jobs. You have your profit-making mechanism for income for your personal gains. How has this affected you in your personal finances? Why I'm asking this is because when you are driven by passion, you end up utilizing your finances, utilizing what you have, utilizing the money that is supposed to be helping in the house and all that. I just want to know the level of commitment that you have and the level of disruptive, links that this comes with. Because, I know I'm a philanthropist, but most often I take my money that was meant for my family to do things that we're not even prepared for. So I want you to answer this in this three format, in these three lines. Be quick, brief, and straightforward. What drives you? How has this affected your personal finance? How are you managing in terms of sustainability? And in your response, I want you to also give us a classic example of what other philanthropists here can use in order to separate their personal finance to that of an organization. Sipho, I will end with you. Over to you, Thando.
I think what drives me is their faces. When you give out sanitary pads and those girls, their faces and how thankful they are, and they tell you their story, so you can see, wow, I'm actually doing such a big thing, and there are many more others who need my help. And I think with our sanitary towels, it's like a monthly thing. So you're always on the move, always on the drive. And for personal finances, when I was still in varsity, when we started this, we would use grocery money to go to places. We also have to contribute also to the running of the organization as well. And also going back to Mankhateng, she has a car. We all use her car. She never once charged us for petrol. And in terms of sustainability, I think it all means we just all, if we are together with one mindset, one goal, one objective, we just keep on moving. And there's always someone who come and save you. Like, for example, I'll just meet an Alex tomorrow and be like, wow, I like what you do. Here's 2,000 Rand. So with that, it's all been running just on God's grace.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yes, over to you, Sipho.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Yeah, from this end, thanks, Thando. There's a whole lot of relatability to what she mentioned there. From my end, I'd say as far as what drives me, particularly on such initiatives, is literally to see the change that is made through a simple, basic act. As I said, this is purely nothing but just doing what I believe every human being ought to be doing. As far as this bit affecting personal finances, I would be lying if I say it did. It did not. It does not affect personal finances one bit because, as I said, I see it as innate with who I am and what I'm supposed to be. So I don't see it as a afterthought. And now I need to stress about where am I going to get money to finance this particular or act as such. In terms of sustainability, I think this one is actually driven or rather fueled by meeting like-minded people, sessions like this, because it further highlights that really there are a lot of people who do greater things, in fact, out there, and mine is just to continue with that. So that's basically, I think my brief summary of the three questions.
All right. No, thank you so much, Sipho. I'm going to now interrupt Mankhateng. Mankhateng, I hear that you guys are working together. You are also donating in terms of offering transportation to the team when you're going to and from your campaigns. How has this been fulfilling experience according to you? Giving out to the community is something that really comes from passion, is passion driven, because at the end of the day, you're not getting any returns, but being so well within yourself, how do you feel about this? How has this changed your life? Mankhateng? All right. While we're waiting for her to respond, colleagues, is there anybody of us who has a question of clarity while we are moving on? Just unmute your microphone and say something, either a comment, or a point of clarity to our speakers, including myself. Over to you right now. This is your time to talk to us, engage us. Mankaten, can you hear me? In the midst of Manhattan with while she's still sorting her mic, let me come back to the issue of social entrepreneurship. Sipho, you mentioned a number of things that you find in your work or your endeavors not really affecting your personal finances. And I understand, because maybe for the issue of scalability, the scale of the work you doesn't really maybe require more finance. But in terms of organization out there, now this is outside Ubuntu. In terms of other organizations there, how and what do you think they can do in order to remain sustainable? Because sustainability is one of those most important components for an organization, more especially to have an impact in that particular community.
Absolutely, absolutely, Alice. In fact, in response to that, I'll share what one organization I know is doing, which is Sterling, really. There's one company called Tom's. They distribute school shoes and stuff. So actually a friend of mine alerted me to them to say that apparently with each purchase, let's say you purchase one shoe or whatever sale they make of a shoe, they give away another pair of shoe to a set student. So that is, I think it's a perfect classical example of social entrepreneurship, but obviously perhaps with a sustainability element that comes with it, because the leather that is needed to make that shoe has to be financed, isn't it? But at the same time, this particular business is quite clear and no ambiguity in terms of it contributing to the society. So you're 100% spot on. The skill will always play a part. I mean, in my case, it's not a full-time job, if I could put it that way. Perhaps that is why. I do believe that if it's a case, and perhaps with Tando's case, whereby you're doing it full-time in that way, then yes, certainly there would be maybe even a certain budget line for that kind of initiative. Lightening it or making it to be part of what I ought to do on a day-to-day basis. The salaries we get from sales, from our professions, etc., businesses, surely, if we are deliberate enough, there's nothing that could stop one on an individual level to give our way whatever they possibly could at the scale they possibly could. And yeah, that's basically, I'd say, the example that I've seen playing out in the corporate space.
Thank you so much. I think we have Manhattan right now. Manhattan, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you perfectly. Manhattan, I posed a question to you. I'm not sure if you heard it, but I will repeat it for your benefit.
Okay.
We want to know what drives you to ensure that what drives you to give back to the community, donate the stuff that you donate for free without expecting anything back from the community. What drives you to give that passion, and what led you to start this with alongside Ms. Thando and the other team? Why are you guys doing this?
Okay, evening again to all. I think the main reason that drives not just me, but everyone that's a part of PETRAS is the people that we donate to. Because when we go there and donate and we have the little talks and the days that we have, the faces and the way they respond to us, because when we get there, we don't just give them pads. We kind of form a sisterhood with them. We form a bond that makes us want to do more. So for me personally, it just doesn't feel okay for me to just drop a packet of pad and leave. There is kind of a relationship that we form, a sisterhood, that the young girls are able to come to us whenever they're in need, and we talk about everything in life. So knowing that we are there for them and we help them really drives us a lot, because if someone looks up to you that much, and if someone knows that this is kind of my safe place, this is someone that I can talk to, someone that can help me out in life, then it really pushes one, because you know that they are thankful. And even if, like, we go there in a certain month and we are not able to provide 6 pads, but we can give one, for the fact that they are thankful for whatever that we give them really drives us, because the appreciation and the love that we get from the people just keeps us going. So I think that's one of the main reasons that drives us to continue, because they really appreciate, and we are really helping them in whatever way that we can.
All right.
Hello?
Yes, thank you so much. I see a hand from Ria Leboga. Ria Leboga, can you pose your question to the team, or your comments, or a point of clarity, please?
Yeah, a quick question on given that right now we're in the midst of COVID-19, and I understand, from my understanding, there are two kind of aspects to the work that Abu Thando are doing, in that there is the giving part, but there's also an educational part, an empowerment part, so to speak. So how have they been able to navigate, doing the empowerment part of things, or the educational, part of things during this COVID-19 social distancing, period?
Thank you so much, Ria Leboga. I'm going to club these questions. I see a hand from Nombulelo Madikwani. Nombulelo, please share your question. Nombulelo, can you hear us? All right, there might be some technical issues with Nombulelo. We'll solve it later. Back to you, Thando, and then Mankhateng. There is a question here. One of the, I will elevate the question to Ed. Are you guys only distributing sanitary towels and products? Don't you maybe talk about maybe gender-based violence and other related issues like rape that affect women and all those things? Have you guys thought of expanding beyond this? Because when I look at things like, a simple thing like the name of your organization, the Pets Are Us, is very limiting, to encompass things that goes around those other issues that affect women. I'm just bouncing as a question. Did you guys think about that? And can you also respond to Ria Leboga, starting with you, Thando, and then Mankhateng?
Okay, thank you for the. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Just to start with Ria, what I can say is, during this pandemic, sadly, we cannot deal with the educational part, but we do tell those that we help that they can reach us on our social media platforms. So we've been getting a lot of inboxes, people who need help who need help and advice, whether it's applying for varsity, or just a sisterly, just to talk, so they know that they can reach us on our social media platforms. And Alex, to your question, yes, oh gosh. And I think we were like, also when we started, we didn't think it would be this big. We didn't think that 5 years later we'll still be here. But we have encountered that, and it has also pushed us to, when we do our seminars, to call in experts, those who will deal with gender-based violence, rape. So we have encountered many girls who have actually been raped, who are experiencing abuse and violence at home. So it has pushed us to actually bring in experts. So we bring out a lot of counselors for counseling, you know, people who know how to deal with the emotional aspects and how to respond to such people, because then we're still at varsity and we don't know how to really respond when somebody says to me, I'm sorry, but like, you know, my stepfather raised me at night and my mother says, so like in episode, you know, like literally we hear such things. We hear Uguti, I'm dating a rich boyfriend, but I don't love him. But my family forces me to be with him because he buys us groceries, you know. We have gotten inboxes that says, please help me with sanitary pads for a whole year because I'm tired of selling my body in order to just buy sanitary towels. So it's been like a lot emotionally draining, you know, especially when we open the floors during our seminars. So thankfully now, yeah, we do know that our name kind of limits, but as to what we do on the ground, we have literally expanded and we are responding to what the girls are giving to us so that we can actually help and be more impactful. Thank you. I hope I could help you. Did I respond properly?
Okay, hi. I'll start with the first question. Obviously, okay, it's not obvious, but during this time, we've only had 2 outreaches where we were able to go and donate sanitary pads and toiletries. But with regards to information and talking to other people, we do that throughout our social media pages. We try and update and upload as much information as possible because we cannot personally reach out to the people that we usually reach out to. And then when it comes to our organization, our name doesn't really limit us because even though we are Pads Are Us, we do more than just providing pads. When we usually when we provide pads, it's a whole day with activities and talks and different people. So I think from our first event, we have grown a lot because when we first went there for the first time, we did have little talks planned out. We spoke about different things, but we were not in a way prepared for what we were going to hear. So while interacting with the young ladies, we actually they knew that we just had to do more than just provide pads. So when we reach out, that's when we see that okay, there are people who actually need to know about certain things, about being raped, about school, about teenage pregnancy. There are certain topics that we need to touch on. So from our first event to the other, our first event opened our eyes like a lot because we got to see that okay, next time we can touch on this and that and bring in experts because at the end of the day we come across like Thando said, we come across situations where we ourselves are not able to help, even though we can advise, but it would need someone who works in that particular field, someone who is able to talk to a rape patient, someone who is able to talk to someone who's suicidal. So we do get people to come in, even though it's hard at times because seeing that we are an NPO, we cannot now afford to pay people or afford to pay a professional. But people really like helping and they actually do come in and do it for free. We have someone who is a social worker who came in, people who work in health departments. So yeah, we actually do more than just pads. Even our packages, it's more than pads. We put pads and toiletries. Every time we donate, it's a little toiletry box. So yeah, thank you.
No, thank you so much, Mankhateng and Thando. I see a hand from Mashudu Lakine Chidzate. But before I go to you, before I come to you, Lucky, I want to go back to Sipho. Sipho, what is an advice that we can give to Pets Are Us Foundation or organization? What do you think should be done in terms of maybe financial sustainability and also attracting funding? You know, I for one, I'm already hooked up. I should be depositing something to their bank account because I feel they are doing a lot, and all of us we should be having that kind of commitment. Over to you, Sipho.
I think perhaps before advice, etc., I'll start by commending the selling work that they're doing. It's priceless, honestly. It's really, really priceless. I perhaps won't even add too much. There is nothing wrong they're doing. Maybe just for us to get a bit more awareness of, Pesas. And by us, I'm referring to not just ladies as well. I mean, within, for an example, Ubuntu, it will be quite, I think, useful if today's call, we can just get more info and how we could, in our own individual ways, contribute as a rush. And the other bit, I know they already have presence in there.
Sipho, can you raise your voice? We're not hearing anything. Raise your voice, my friend.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that with regard to not much of an advice initially, but just to commend the work they're doing. It's priceless, really. I'm just gonna, I know they already have, I saw a bit on Twitter, just to further amplify their post. It's very, very, very. I, for one, after this call, I think it will be quite wise that, we share the content that we're working on Ubuntu and just get everyone in there to contribute in ways.
Sipho, I had to mute your microphone. We can't hear a thing. Please sort it out. I will be coming to you not so long. Lucky, you had your hands up. Can you engage us?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Malapane, for the opportunity. I just want to check with Ms. Thando. Have you guys maybe thinking of like tampering into the market of persons living with disability, like reaching out? That's the first question. And you guys, do you have a website? If not, if you don't have, we are willing to do the website for free for you guys. And yeah, thank you.
Over to you, Thando. Can you respond?
Yes, can you please further clarify what he means by us assisting people with disabilities?
Like, I mean, like reaching
how
out
can we help?
Like in terms of reaching out, providing with pads, like also having some session with them, sort of like checking with, because one thing I've realized that we've been doing, reaching out to schools for persons living with disability. And one thing we've realized that, most of these kids that have been abused and then they don't talk. Hey, I mean, I think if you guys, you can try to tap into that market, you can assist a lot.
Oh, yes. Actually, we have a database of places where people come to us and be like, hey, I have this place. Can you please help? I think if you can give us a few disability homes or schools, whatever, or an area whereby, there's disabled people, then we'll be more than willing to help.
Okay. And then you guys, do you have a website? Do you have a website?
You know what? We've been trying to do this website thing. The person has been doing us Amarana rounds. So if you can come and help us, it'll be of great help.
Yeah, we'll do it for free for you guys.
Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Wow, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lucky and Thando. I'm going to go back to Sipho. Sipho,
yes.
Are you able
I think
to?
now, yes.
Yes,
I think now
you
I'm
are crystal
audible
clear.
enough,
Yes.
isn't it? Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Firstly, I think beyond advice, etc., just to commend the work Thando and the team are doing. Also, like his hand of gesture, it's highly appreciated, brother. I'm sure it'll go a long way. I've seen, in fact, is it on Twitter or so? I think you do already have an account. I think that's really good. It's very effective. Maybe if we could just amplify your posts a bit more beyond our faces as your followers, it'll help a great deal. Just to, in one way or the other, if we could see what or where we could potentially assist as, like I said, on an individual capacity. For an example, on Ubuntu, what we will do is, I think it'll be wise that we share the contents of your offering to the group, and whomever can assist again in whichever way they can to this great initiative you guys are doing, I think it'll go a long way. I think what the other bit is that I see Petros more on a formal level. So it'll always be important that you maintain that because, I mean, to attract sponsors and so forth. It should just, I think, just the professionalization of it should just be maintained. Ubuntu, on the other hand, as I said, it's different. It's really not a formalized professional setup. It's anyone giving out whatever they potentially could. So you are doing a good job as it is. I'll just advise that you continue with it.
Thank you so much. That's really good, and it's really encouraging that from this platform we're able to really put a hand there. Colleagues, I will say if you have something surplus of funds or whatever, please drop in the little you have and let them continue to make that impact. You don't understand in so much time how many people or how many women are really looking forward to this kind of assistance that we can offer them. We are almost at the end. We started a little bit late because I had to clean the room because of the intruders that came in. But otherwise, in closing, I don't know if we have anyone of us who has something to say, who will want to still comment or for further question or clarity before I give a round of closure to our guest. I see a hand from Lucky.
Yeah, I've got a
Lucky.
question.
Okay, let's start with Ria Leboha and then Lucky.
Yeah, I just wanted to just find out from the panel, what is their approach in terms of measuring the impact of the work that they're doing. If there's any tools that they're using, or how do they go about approaching just measuring the impact of the work they're doing.
All right, Lucky, I saw your hand.
Actually, I forgot to remove my hand, sorry.
All right, no, it's fine, thanks. All right, colleagues, a question has been raised. How do you measure the impact of what you're doing? What are the tools that you are working on? In your response, please also give us a 30 seconds to 1 minute, sort of like a pitch. How can we get involved? What do you want to do? Call us to action as we wrap up this wonderful session that we had. Please respond to Lebohang and then give us that 1 minute pitch that so that you can call us to come and help you wherever you want. Which areas are emergency for you to keep going? Over to you, colleagues, starting with Sipho, then Thando, and then we close.
Okay. So yeah, just maybe to respond to Lebohang. I'll give you a practical scenario, Lebohang. Just this winter, we plan to distribute 1 blanket per Ubuntu member. So the easiest way literally to measure the impact of that is whomever we're going to give, to actually have a blanket. And we actually have identified a few homes that we want to give to, but it actually goes. That's just a simple and basic way of measuring the giving capacity. And as far as perhaps going forward, collaboration, etc. My biggest wish is not even so much for one to be part of Ubuntu, WhatsApp group, etc. But just for us to respect this inner voice that we all have and give out in whichever way, shape, or form without much fanfare, really. No cameras, no need to post our own individual capacities. We are all living in South Africa. We don't need anything around us. And that is my wish, or I think that will be the contribution to Ubuntu from anyone, really.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Thando.
Yes, thank you. For us, what is difficult with us is that we are literally we're assisting with a very consumable good. We are assisting with a monthly need from as soon as a female has reached maturity to be able to conceive. So even if we can cover someone, we still have to come back. You see, so that has been like our major struggle with us, that, we feel bad like when we have to give somebody less than 6 sanitary pads. So we're thinking after the 6 months, what's going to happen? Are you going to ask for somebody else to help you? Who's going to come and help you? So with us, it's kind of very tricky. So what we've been doing as an organization is actually advocating for menstrual and personal hygiene, making sure that, government also steps in to ensure that they give like sanitary pads are available in public areas, whether it's the toilet, restaurant, clinics, hospitals, universities, you know, so that at least it will ease on the burden a lot or more if it does not cover it up. And with us, assistance, if you can reach us on our social media platforms, you know, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we have an email account, you know, you can drop us a donation to assist at least one girl, even if it's just for 1 month, you know, so that they know that at least for that 1 month, they don't have to use toilet paper, newspaper, leaves. Like, it's crazy the kind of things that girls use during that time of the month. And, you know, we have also a bank account that people can donate into. We are also a public benefit organization. So those who pay us, you are sorted with us. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, colleagues, and Sipho and Thando and everyone who managed to be part of us tonight. We came towards the end of the session, and what I want to leave you with is that is a question actually. Do you think COVID-19 will fuel the next wave of social entrepreneurship innovation? You can engage me online on Twitter. You can continue with this conversation and see how we can meet together. Our next session will be very interesting one. We will be having a public discourse. I'll be hosting a member of parliament by the name of Vuyo Zungula, who will be part of our session. I will be hosting a specialist in terms of risk management, because we will be talking all things business strategies to bounce back or to recover during and post COVID-19, and we should be able to make an impact in that space. We also have a financial expert who works for Momentum by the name of Jawoho Matsipe, who will be part of the session. It's going to be an hour-long session. Don't be late. Don't be late by 1 minute. Be there on Friday, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We will be live. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for connecting, colleagues. Until we meet again, God bless you.
Thank you so much for having us, Alex. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.